As South Korea investigates whether its workers suffered human rights violations after a raid in Georgia that sent 300 of their workers home from the U.S. Here in Central Texas, it could impact the semiconductor industry, with South Korea a major global leader when it comes to chip production. The country's president said last week Korean firms may scale back on investing in the U.S. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin.
And I'm Jennifer Sanders. Today, several executives from Korean equipment manufacturing companies gathered in Elgin. KXAN's Kevin Bosker was there and explains the uncertainty moving forward.
Central Texas is banking on semiconductors, with Samsung building a plant in Taylor set to open in 2026.
Over the last few years, we've seen a flurry of activity from suppliers, even to the point where Williamson County Economic Development Partnership opened an office in Seoul.
This is Dave Porter. He leads Williamson County's Economic Development Partnership. He attributes the county's growth to foreign companies wanting to build here. But following an ICE raid in Georgia earlier this month,
that was a big setback for us. That raid in Georgia, that had wide range implications throughout various industry sectors in Korea.
The raid took place at a Hyundai battery factory, detaining more than 300 South Korean workers. South Korea President Lee Jae-myung last week said this could change how they do business here in the U.S. In a press conference, he said, "To be honest, it's baffling," adding later on, direct investments in the U.S. is something our companies are likely to hesitate about.
We have a delegation coming from Korea tomorrow to visit in Williamson County, and they had talked about maybe not coming because of what happened.
On Wednesday, several Korean company executives visited Yuriko's semiconductor site in Elgin to learn about building facilities for their companies in Central Texas. Adam Jerefshah is Yuriko's project developer.
Yuriko is already staffing up for these buildings, and it's mostly local people that they're hiring.
South Korea is too important for the United States and vice versa. So we will get through this.
Kevin Bosker, KXAN News.
And after those 300 workers returned to South Korea last week, President Trump over the weekend posted on social media saying in part, quote, "I don't want to frighten off or disincentivize investment into the U.S. by outside countries or companies. We welcome them, we welcome their employees, and we are willing to proudly say we will learn from them."
Signed in 2022 by then President Joe Biden, the CHIPS Act is aimed to lure chip makers to expand production in the U.S. But earlier this year, President Donald Trump criticized the $280 billion package.
Because it's hundreds of billions of dollars and it's just a waste of money. Now, some people have already taken the money and used it. Actually, it's very hard to qualify because they go by race, they go by gender, they go by all sorts of things. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. You won't be able to find those people. So I don't even think anybody can qualify.
And during his address to Congress, he argued companies like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, who pledged to invest $100 billion in U.S. manufacturing, were making those investments in response to the president's tariff orders. Samsung's Taylor plant is benefiting from the CHIPS Act. Last year, the Department of Commerce says they awarded Samsung $4 billion in direct funding under the CHIPS Act. At the time, the department said the funding would support the company's investment of over $37 billion into Central Texas. Meanwhile, today, Governor Greg Abbott announced as part of Texas's CHIPS Act, a grant of $250 million has been extended to Samsung for their facility in Taylor.